One of the problems I often see with science communication is that we don't project the appropriate level of uncertainty when we're talking about scientific concepts. You see, in the world of science, there always exists some level of uncertainty, and we need to make that clear. There are some things that we're pretty darn sure of, and other things where there is a lot of uncertainty, and we need to be clear about that. Because if we're not, that's why people start losing trust in scientific institutions. For example, if you remember during the time of COVID, what happened? Institutions like the WHO or the CDC would put out advice as if that's it, it's established, it's the gospel truth, and then 2 weeks later, the advice changes. Now, people see that and they're like, well, these guys don't know what they're talking about. Because they were speaking with such confidence, they weren't projecting the appropriate level of uncertainty, and they weren't giving their rationale for whatever advice they were giving. So when the advice changed, because we found more evidence or whatever the reason, that wasn't made clear to people watching. And so people didn't, trust them because they said, look at these guys, they're flip-flopping. They don't know what they're talking about. So it's important that we don't dumb science down for the public and we trust in people's intelligence, We should simplify concepts to make them as simple as they can be, but not simpler, right? If you find yourself dumbing things down to the level where it starts to become wrong, like you start to having to bend the truth in order to dumb it down, stop. People are not that stupid. Trust in people's intelligence. They'll figure it out. Don't dumb things down that much, and make sure that you project an appropriate level of uncertainty.